Hey, Lonesome, me up. Yeah, man, me up, man. Busy like a bee, you know. Yeah, man, busy like a bee. We are watching what going, you know. We are watching what going. So hear this now. You make a start, me have to start my show like this. I have to start my show up on the next level, you know. See? Because we have to turn it up on next notch, you know. We have to turn it up on next notch. So, watch how me I start my show now. Look how me I start my show. The government, we see them have to turn down the state of emergency. And we see who I get pay and, you know, one bag of arms house where I want the people in Jamaica get very serious now. We can't take it no more. So we go start it like this. Because we are tell them, say, hey, let me tell you this. Stop the foolishness. We go start the show like this, yeah? Hold on. Start the show like this. So me I want to no make no guy fool enough. So the clear yeah, simple thing. Hey, remember.
But remember, say, I'm me and somebody do this.
Yeah, easy father, my guy. Alright. They can react. Wash up the whole place. You understand?
Right now, President endorse with Lonesome as a nice man, wonderful man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I just start that because of anything, you know? Yeah, that's the truth.
Eptone's Leroy Sybil, when you say Father Sybil?
That's true. Everything I say.
You hear that?
Yeah, man, we are going to seminar on Father, download, check it out. Father, try one note for them now. Sometimes you're gonna be left out alone.
Capleton, when you say better? Don't you know? Say me are the baddest thing ever born. No for them we say me never born. Me not like how no for them born. Cause them can't stop the the king of fire done.
Remember.
I'm can't go.
Yeah, man. Derek Clara. Yeah, man. You saw the place full. Room full, all full. You see who side of me? Original Johnny Clark. See it, you see me on top of
The judgment.
yeah, man. Oh, you blowing. You're Bantan. That's why I tell you to be careful. Eh? You hear me? You have to cut it out. Hear the father tell himself.
Sometimes I never knew which way to turn. When the going gets the tough gets over time. We'll never give up the fight, even though I'm broken up inside. I could never give up my pride.
Hear this now, sister.
Hard work bring great achievements. So give yourself we're Lonesome.
Kelly, where you have the father, Kelly?
Big up every time, man.
I'm aware of love.
Revolution is like me now. So come and just start my mind straight and we doing business. Just
Remember when we was our own picture frame, and nobody never used to call me name.
Well, too much blood stain running down the drain. Only get a youth man, I feel the pain. Well, too much blood stain running down the drain. Sight my little brother got cooked on cocaine. Too much blood stain running down the drain. Sight my little granny and she gone insane. Too much blood stain running down the
yeah, man, we have to talk to them, man. We have to talk to them now, yeah? People have to get serious. Yo, father, big up yourself. Lady Ann, big up in sis. Yeah, man. Yo, P. The whole crew, big up. Hey, we there, man. We have to start. We have to turn it up a notch, you know. Yeah? And the first thing we have to tell the Prime Minister, we have to tell the government, go pay the police them. Stop on the foolishness. Stop on the foolishness. And nobody believe. You know what the whole of Jamaica know, for a fact. Say the Zozo and the state of emergency. It not do not know. Only thing we hear is a big bill. It's a big bill. Because domestic violence, it can't solve that. And then the man them a try I use soldier, push for the police them one side. Yeah? And I put soldier. I'm gonna show you something with Rocky Mead, where Rocky Mead I say. It's not everything, but I show you a little thing when we watch Rocky Mead I come talk some things where me have to push him one side too, you know, because that's another role for the army either, you know. You understand? But me just remind the Prime Minister with the most opposition leader, just not 2015 years before the election, where him did I say, I could just remind him. Just listen him, I will take him by word. I want thing with me, I'm in a business. Me take people by them word. See, my word, I'm a band. So you have to take people by them word, literally by them word. If you mean good, you don't come and say, hey, me can fix this. You don't come and say, me, I'm going to sleep with no window open. Me have the solution for crime. Nobody else have it, but when you have it, only thing bad is missing more money. Nobody now go prison. Not at all. I'm going to just get to people, get to youth and all kind of thing. We're done with that. You understand? This is foolishness. Remember just hear with the Prime Minister himself as saying in a New Year's speech in 2015. Just hear this.
To characterize the standard of our public health response to future epidemic threats. Ebola is still a global concern, and we must continue to be vigilant and prepared. The state of health service delivery in our hospitals and clinics is a grave cause for concern. Long waiting times.
Remember, you know, him know all these things. He might tell you all these things. I'm think 5 years. 5 years is half a decade. 5 years to fix that. 5 years even put in some things and say, okay, make we give them even because enough people, too much people get injured, dead. We have more roads, we have more things. Not even ambulance. I want to love the people, them will be a violence when I bring to the people, them pant up of violence. Let me tell you the biggest thing was bigger than the state of emergency. Let me tell you the death them were bigger than state of emergency. When you bring a state of emergency and I say, well, this will blow up on them thing there. The same infection thing at the COVID, at 2,300 and something people dead. Never in the history of Jamaica so much people dead in a one space of time. But everybody overlook these things. I didn't know if they didn't watch. Because one time when somebody dead in Jamaica is like a big thing. Nobody never dead. Nobody never dead. When you look now, the one we done a mobile there in the tourist ministry. Run out. Oh, we cannot do this because the tourism sector and boom bam bam, we have to do this. And them run out, them have the ship. And they're like, people are getting from them like that, you know. Different from the little one, them are going where them are slave out. I tell the people in a slave. And when you look now, pay tourists and pay things, and when you look now, them spread the thing more. Look how much people dead and they watch. Combine how much people dead per year. Yeah, how much people dead already through the gunshot and the kind of violence. How much people dead per watch right now because of the bad management of COVID. And everybody are overlook it and the media houses now rush upon it. Eh? And you have a pandemic and violence and COVID are going wicked and even that. Eh? COVID nearly double up the amount of death we're going already. Like a thousand more, like a thousand up to the death by violence, by gunshot and them thing. They're 1,000 up, 1,000 add. It nearly double. Eh? 2,300 add. And nobody no rush the government about it yet. Just go and listen. And you hear talk about the hospital and him say everything when them was up when them in the opposition. Position. And now you do some woman role and make people see our role and run the country right. No. Yeah, shield friends and company, nepotism and cronism and one bag of foolishness. We know that with no guy. Don't bother come tell me no foolishness. By the way, then lock up in the last election we run the last year. When I always remember these things, because you know me like fact check my thing and me keep my thing, you know, lock. In the last election we run, them free of nearly 600 prisoners. You lock up these people, them not get charged. I must say a couple people, not even a handful of people, them charge, you know. You lock up people for 400 odd days, 300 odd days. For what? Why? Eh? Now you say, okay, it work. And it yes, still you have so much killing. If that work, believe me, if Tivoli encourage and no work, if that no work, the big gun are running out and do people like these things. It will not work. It needs social intervention, sir. You need to create employment. We need to create jobs. You understand? We need youth training. We need enough more things to put back in place. You understand? We lose everything. I want to tackle the thing on the wrong kind of. All them face off with things. It does mash up Jamaica more, yeah? Just listen to him have all of the things that you have to count it down when promise or where him say. And where him know wrong and him could have point it out and tell you for hold the government accountable. That we are do. You understand? Listen him. Just want to listen him.
And incidents of patients dying, lack of medicines, and stressed out staff are now common features of the general condition of public health care in Jamaica. Regardless of our economic challenges, the health of Jamaicans must be a priority. The government must place resources in the health sector to support necessary services.
So why it not be a priority now? If you did see that 2015 before the 2016 general election, and it must be a priority, why it not be a priority now? You understand what I say? Yes, what I talk about? Eh? Them know what to do, but them not do it. It must be. In my book, that me say too. Because a healthy nation, the wealthy nation, you have to have the health. Educated nation, the wealthy nation too. But you see, when them talk and you run and say yes, them I say the thing. I know them to do one thing. One thing. See, listen.
A progressive society cannot hold the view that persons who are unable to pay for health care at the time they need it should be denied access. This crisis in our public health sector now requires national attention and creative solutions. We believe it is now time to establish a national health insurance scheme where all Jamaicans can make an affordable contribution to a pool of funds dedicated to the health services.
Ask if they make a health scheme 5 years in. Ask. Yeah, here. Them have all the plan. You just come in because I work, and you just put them in a place. Just that. You want to stay till you are 100 people, make you stay. But you know, come like each time a prime minister come, them just come for just wreck it more and drain out the resources and mash up the place. I have something where I want to tell you about China. I want to show you about China too, you know. I forgot to care that maybe tomorrow. Because I do so much things and I do a bag of things. But it's very important. Very interesting. You understand? I forgot to care it and show you because Jamaica, where China spend over, I think, 60 billion US over 40 at the Commonwealth countries them. Jamaica, one of the biggest recipients, participant in China spending this bag of money in our country. You understand? So everybody watch where I go on. And I think it coming out in one of the UK paper. I forgot show it. I just want to listen to what I say.
We're happy to see the continued improvements in examination results. This is no doubt the result of significant policy work done several years ago to transform the education system. Our focus on literacy and the implementation of the competence-based transition policy, along with several other significant initiatives, have brought meaningful change to the sector. However, there are areas of concerns that must be addressed. One of the most important policies that enhanced universal access to education was the free tuition policy. This ensured that children from poor households could attend school without worry or fear of discrimination, of being denied access or services within the school because of their economic situation. Many parents are now being confronted with tough decisions about school fees or auxiliary fees and whether or not to send their children to school. While results are improving because of the work done during my administration, we fear that attendance at school will be affected by the enforcement of fees during increasingly difficult economic times. This ultimately will have a negative effect on our children's performance despite their boundless potential. We therefore strongly encourage the government to reinstate the tuition-free policy and to increase the allocation per student to schools in the 2015-2016 budget. I'm sure
himself increase it in the budget, you know. And right now you have police out there, them overwork and everything, and nurse and doctors and all kind of people. All kind of social workers. Them can't get no pay. You offer them 4% and all kind of things. Yeah, still when you was in opposition, you tell them what to do, you know. And we expect you to come in and put in these things in a place. You understand? But no, you and your friend them and mash up the cookie jar. Nobody not tell you. Me, I tell you.
Sure that we're all happy to see the price of oil fall. However, we must always bear in mind that the fall in oil prices are temporary and not necessarily driven by pure market forces. The government, therefore, must not let this temporary reprieve dull the urgency of the need for real energy reform in Jamaica. A significant number of our electricity generating plants are old and inefficient. These plants must be taken out of service and replaced with more modern and efficient generating capacity. This year, the government must take serious action towards attracting serious investments in the electricity generation sector. In the interim, Jamaican consumers must benefit from the significant drop in oil prices.
So we are benefit for anything right now. You understand? When the man in the opposition, the man say what you want to say where the people them want hear, where you think say, okay, see the country, run it. You think the man will say, all right, I can get down to the nitty-gritty of this and move the red tape and what I do. What we say we are going to do. Because always see the government, the previous government, them uncaring. So we are going to do the things to the people them. Do? We're not lying on a pocket. You understand? Evil to the people them.
It is disingenuous for the government to call on the retailers of oil products to offer lower prices to the public when the government itself ultimately controls the price at which the market is supplied.
So don't know so the government control the price of the market supply. And him farm the government, the party farm the government now. So you know say with energy and everything, you know so them around put way. You hear him tell you. Yeah. You understand? You hear him tell you, but him not move it. That's why when Mark they tell him to move the money from Governor Glue tell him to move the money from the taxes, from the iPad. I know that people can afford to buy it or it come in and remove certain things and make the school them can have it for go school and things. Him the move. So you're going to put in a driver's seat for mash up the country more. You never see them going to tell me something. Everybody with up on the line. Tell me when last ever see them going to Henry Morgan house and attack something constructive for us. We don't talk about lack of people and more laws and strength laws and this laws and corruption laws and at them same one have the whole corruption thing lack, Look how real we look him get away. See? Privy Council thing that turn him down, our thing that turn him down, real with them, because them did want to go must a Privy Council figure contest say, them for crush it and show it out, say, feed, shouldn't lock them up, never have the power to go lock them up. But the money, but the amount of money gone. You see me I say? Them not easy. Well, listening.
This year, the government must review the pricing mechanism of Petrojam. The Jamaican people have kept faith and borne the heavy burden of the government's austerity measures. Since this administration has taken office, fees and taxes have increased, wages have been frozen, and social services.
Wages have been frozen. Hey, I'm going to play the police after this. You see it in tell you where you want here. Them frozen. Wages have been frozen. This gone up, that everything. And just listen to man.
Prices have declined. The government continues to rely on passing austerity tests as a sign of its progress. But austerity is not a long-term solution. Constantly increasing taxes, cutting consumer spending power, and cutting investment in public infrastructure will not grow the economy. The government also continues to promote the idea that growth will come from large foreign investments in logistics and infrastructure. The lesson we have learned is that it is not necessarily so. While it is important to focus on the macro level, growth really comes from focusing on the micro level. Sometimes...
Yeah, well, say growth come from the little man. But yes, still enough police and mash up the little man, them take them off of the road, them do all kind of thing, regularize the thing. But it come from the little man because you want them vote. Mash up all uncat and them affair, put on a license for go push it under them own strength. You see it? Them know what them are saying, and that mean them not mean the country no good. If me listen to a man like this, there is no way me a listen to a man like this. And then when you look him turn prime minister and do what him a do, and then me a believe in him and run behind him and say, yes, yeah, do good. When me know say everything gone up and we are suffer. Him a hurt people. And them no business. You understand? It don't make sense. Just listen to how the man talk. So everything were wrong when I do to the people, them know him no say it wrong. Him know. Listen.
It's not even about the financial resources to make the investment. Oftentimes, it's about the government moving faster on decisions, bringing investors together with ideas, and creating the right regulatory framework in which entrepreneurs can take risks. This year, the government must focus on small businesses and local entrepreneurs and the things they need to be able to increase production and investment. Things like keeping the incentives of the junior stock exchange, reducing transaction taxes, and improving the time it takes to get approvals. While the people have been keeping faith with the government's program of belt tightening, the government has not been tightening its own belt or keeping faith with the people. Last year, we saw several instances of waste and misuse of public funds, from $1 million phone bills to the inappropriate use of your NHD funds to purchase.
Him just call two things. Him just say two things, you know. Him just say the $1 million phone bill and the NHT fund, right? Him just say two things, right? The $1 million phone bill and the NHT. $1 million phone bill when him just talk about. Remember, I had the shop before him have to move up from this. So. Over $8 million for 1 month. 1 month. And it's impossible even if you work it out. Because I remember digital and them thing they offer you you can $2,000 you can hook up for it, you know, limited amount of call for 1 month, like $2,000 and thing. Or him spend so much money. I say him that him baby did sick and him that called him wife. Taxpayers' money not supposed to cover that. All that of foolishness, stupidness. But go and listen to him. Saying NHT, them go bill, NHT go build the house. You see the house where NHT bill, you don't see it, right? Eh? When you see the house where NHT bill, that terrible too, you know. You understand? Yeah, man, the house where NHT bill terrible too, man. So make us 37 million. 2 bathroom in the bedroom them. So if your friend come over, let's say you send them in your room with your wife there or something, or you send them to your daughter, your kids them room. That don't make it don't even make no sense. Make you go and listen him. Since you know the right thing. So you see when me see that man you get up and do one bag of foolishness, go have to burn him out. You have to hold him accountable. Hear what I say. Listen him.
Purchase a failing private business. One of the most hurtful ironies of the saga is that while it was coming to light that the NHD had bought the Outer Many tourist attraction for $180 million and was continuing to spend millions of dollars on its maintenance, the Prime Minister was also informing the public that the NHD would be cutting assistance to low-income earners by approximately $80 million. We as citizens may not always connect the dots, but bad governance has real effects on our welfare.
Yeah. So Andrew, if you know all these things, that's why we can't have no mercy upon you, you know, man. You must say mad. I don't know people, you know them. And let me tell you this. But me the houses should have draw back these things and not throw it back in his face and make him hear what I say, you know. And everything where I say in the plans. More than you come now and I tell we something else. It don't make no sense. You farm the government now. I'm in attack 12 months. And then I tell about what them call a grace period. If it's a 9 months, I think 5 years now. 5. See? All right. But go on here.
Fact is that fewer people who would normally have benefited from their NHD contributions will no longer benefit because the NHD board decided to spend less on what it is supposed to do, build houses, and more on what it is not supposed to do, buy tourist attractions. Each and every Jamaican has a duty to hold their government to account for the proper running of the country's affairs in a democracy.
On the ear. So when we sit down I talk to this man and the government when they mash up a country, we don't want to hear from nobody. We don't hold him accountable. If a man tell us if you hold the government accountable, where him a what? Still the opposition? No. If you hold him accountable, him say it himself. See? Me play it again, me couldn't hear it.
What it is supposed to do, build houses, and more on what it is not supposed to do by tourist attractions. Each and every Jamaican has a duty to hold their government to account for the proper running of the country's affairs. In a democracy, power flows from the people, and if the people decide not to participate, then governments can act in ways that are not in the people's interest without fear of consequence. I encourage all Jamaicans to let your voice be heard.
Yeah,
Whether
that
you are articulate or inarticulate, you have the power to change how the country is run. Significant changes are on the horizon for the Caribbean region. We welcome signs of the normalization of relations between the US and Cuba. As I have consistently said, Jamaica should re-examine its foreign policy with a view to focusing on the Northern Caribbean. Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic all have markets that are at least 3 times the size of our population. It is true that while they are geographically close to us, all the infrastructure for trade and investment may not presently exist. A part of our growth strategy must be how we position ourselves to participate in these markets. There is no reason why our locally manufactured products and our services cannot be sold in these markets. We must now, this year, seek to put in place arrangements to support trade and exchange, such as communications, transport, but more importantly, the bilateral negotiations to create cooperation agreements. There are many issues that require decisions. We can make this year the year when we decide the kind of Jamaica we want. The government has brought to Parliament a bill to remove the Privy Council as our final court of appeal. We maintain the view that any such move must have the approval of the people in a referendum. We take note that our other partners, including Trinidad, where the Caribbean Court of Justice is presently headquartered, have seen the wisdom in having the people endorse their final court in a referendum. Last year, human rights issues figured significantly in the news. Too often, the context of human rights is a fight between the state and its citizens.
Listen again.
And sometimes it appears that there is a reluctance on the part of the state to secure the rights of its citizens. The West Kingston inquiry offers an opportunity for the state to take a proactive approach in setting the tone by which we deal with the rights of citizens, particularly how the state protects the right to life and how persons are compensated when they have been hurt by the state. This year, let us think carefully about the type of Jamaica we want to see. I believe we can all agree that we want to see a healthy, educated, energy efficient, economically growing Jamaica, where people have a sense that they can get justice and their rights will be protected.
But you not protect them right when you use SOE and all kind of things, sir. If you say you know what the gang them there and all kind of things, and you make Rocky Mead, Rocky away more name, from up at the JDF and Google Gaga, I advise you and then you advise the governor general for call state of emergency. This a joke. This a joke. You understand? The police, what power people just ask the question is, what the powers, what the police them not have to deal with crime and to deal with crime, the police them in a state of emergency. Remember, soldier always around them, you know, them do the arrest. The soldier will always see them and everything, stick you up the way, you understand? So, them charge you and them care, but what them want, them don't want, when them hold you, because them can detain you, you know. And then if them have anything, them can go to court or whatever. If they hold you and you're guilty about something and everything, them can charge you. Them know where you're there, them know what about, them can charge you. So what them want to do? Them just want to hold you and just lock you up for 2 years. You never go to jail yet. You never put your foot in a jail cell. But the state of emergency make them come hold you. Remember, no gunman gone. Because them on police work and them on soldier work. Them gone about them business. So you know why you not run? You know you have a work to do. You have your baby mother for take care and all kind of things. See? and you are going to work and things. Them still come shake you down. 4 o'clock in the morning. Come out. What are you, man? You know, come out. Line up. Out of your bed. What you going to do? I'll be a big gun money. You come line up. Hey, me have to go check him out. And if you just give them a back and just a back talk, say, yo, I'm foolishness this. Remember, you're not coming out. Come on, feel say, hey, me got me, my bruise, me guy, you know. Hey, we not let him out in him. You chat too much to you, you know. Matter of fact, because we not let you out. Nobody know. A matter of fact, if this I run for 10 years, I keep him for 10 years. It's sinful. You just talk about the rights of the citizen. Work with the citizen, them. Work with them. See? All you don't need to spend so much money. It's a small country. Shot spotter, more cameras, camera work. It work. I mean, I talk some nice digital cameras, some nice, you know, K4. You know, you have to have some nice, you know, them just take off the whole of them gas station. Yeah? The whole of them gas station. Put up some good cameras on it. The whole of the business place them. So it shine up and down on every road. See? You're the fright number one for my youth know say, yo, me can't beat the camera can't trace and show you everywhere. But you turn go up now lane and everything. If every one of them business place there have camera from one side to the other, the whole of them stoplight, the whole of them thing there. You can't trace people, man. See? A matter of fact, you put up the camera and put it up on TV where them watch all themselves on all highway and all kind of things. And you see where you see where them see. So them know so okay. And them you can't see them good too. Them not try it. Them not do attempt there. Them know them get one. And it's simple. When they did come out the other day, I think 2018, 2019, when them said them away the body camera now and them have it already and them. Where them there? We don't know where them there. I know we not see them, you know. I know we not see none of them camera there. I know we not see one. Them now we are them. See? And then them make a big fuss now and turn it in a politics business. Say the opposition, you know, no mean the country not good. When you want to lock up people, oh, you say the opposition no mean the country good and you want to lock up people. Go lock up your, right. You don't like the soldier them, you know what you have to do? Let me tell you this. If me I support you, them for lock up my son them too. So them for lock up your son them, the two of them. And check them out. Yeah, and go lock up the big man them up top there. So go lock up for them son them too. Lock up the whole of them and check them out. And hold them for one year and add. Yeah? Just make your son them go through the same thing. Because them reach a age now. Make them just go pick them up and lock them. Because the whole of them are going to check out. See? And then you don't know what team them are blow. Because them they lose them job, you know. Yeah? You don't come out and you say them bright and them shouldn't go all this. Because your son them are angel, them are saint. You say yes, you know them are saint. You understand? Go lock them up. Because them are catch some youth when them got jail yet. Now have no intention. See, now do them look work and I got you and them lock them up same way. Put yourself in other mother and father shoes here. I remember, go pay the police them. Police, wanna stop one I couldn't bait for these kind of people here. Look on this.
As the long overdue overtime wage settlement between the Police Federation and the government.
Look on
The
this.
streets of downtown Kingston were flooded with police officers who were not at work, but instead came out to make a statement about their disgruntlement with the court process. They also gained support from citizens. Jamaica Maitland has the details.
Not even the pelting sun, rain, or even their colleagues on duty trying to maintain social distancing measures could prevent the scores of police officers from dispersing the streets of downtown Kingston Thursday. This as the hearing into the settlement of the overtime wages was underway in court. Clad in black and a touch of red, police officers crowded the steps of the Supreme Court, hoisting placards and chanting, "We need our money." They're protesting against what they describe as the long overdue overtime wage settlement between the Police Federation and the government.
What we do? Fed up! What we do? Fed up! We want money! We want money! That is owed to us!
The crowd caused an unusual traffic pileup at some intervals, which was made worse by curious motorists and passers-by. Others recorded the police officers, citing that they'd never seen protests by the country's law enforcers.
I come down to the liquor shopping and I just buck up on the crowd and I'm asking.
I never see protests like this before that. I know people that call in, so can't think first me ever see something like this. I'm not joke. You know people that call in sick and them thing then, but me never see something like this before. Eh? and just say you angle the thing right. You take a Google Gaga, you angle him good. You militarize the police force. See? Till I'll make Iraqi me that tell us, well, you know, I'm going to play him after this. I'm going to go and play this.
And what is going on? And I saw somebody saying that is the police officers them out here talking about their pay from the government. And I agree with them.
This central Kingston resident said she's been following the report and described the impasse as embarrassing on the part of the government.
I am 100% behind the police. The JCF deserve, if they ever ask the Air Force One, they are supposed to get it immediately with effect. Yeah. They work very hard, and they have them family, and they have to risk them life. With these gun boys, that's not easy. Them forget anything where them ask for. You see how much real we gone with? Eh?
And even though the settlement was not reached Thursday, the officers are hopeful that an agreement will be reached come December 16.
We fed up for Christmas too. And if we don't get to the Christmas, please give us a reasonable offer so we can take care of our family.
Jamila Mate.
You see me I talk about? Eh? The same thing when you're opposition you talk about and the freeze appear and you know all kind of little things they in them not get their money. And you know come and say make me give them you owe them back you owe them back money. And the back money come from far too. I think from the other administration. The reason you understand? So if the back money come from there, see a matter of fact the back money come from in your administration from 2008 them say. 2008 to in. Them where them leave 2012, right? And then 2016 they come back, right? So the back money come from 2008, and it come catch 2012. So it could catch Bruce Golden administration, them owe them, and it come up to Porsche administration, and then come up to FEMA administration and continue owe them. You understand? And then pay. I mean, if you get $70,000, how much money? If you get 100,000 and them want you. How much percent them say them I give them? Around 70,000 them I get and them I get 4%. 4. You understand? If you get 100,000 and you say 4%, how much money I get? 4 grand. It's not 100, I don't think 100 them I work. Well, if them run it off, you know. You see me I say? So you think about it. And then I get around 70 grand and then the matter make up go 90. So them I get little less than that, like 2,000 or 3 grand. Nearer to 3 grand. If you get like 90,000. See? So I get that kind of money. Where that can do? Where it can do? Eh? Where it can do? Nothing. But you see, when a man in our opposition and him talk, where him talk, and then when it come on now, you see a different thing, then you start question. See? All right. Let me just show you where Rocky made. I want to see something in Rocky made. I want to see something with him.
Edition of All Angles, I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Require their employees to take the vaccine or else provide.
All right, so Rocky made. I want to see something. When I want to see something in Rocky made, let me see what I want to say with him. Just listen to a statement here from the man here. Listen to a statement here.
Own vaccine status in determining who may be assigned leadership roles.
Okay, so in other words, it's kind of like a backdoor mandatory policy, right? Where people know, okay, you won't get fired, but you won't get promoted. So there is a very, may not be a stick, but there is a very big carrot.
I think that's a reasonable assessment in that.
More you listen to man cleanly, you know, because me I tell you some here I tell you about them did have a plan for 2017. Now I get that the other clip, I forgot to play that tomorrow. But just listen to man.
Leadership is all about motivation, and we're trying to motivate the troops, and I need my subordinate leaders to help me motivate the troops. And so yes, that would be a reasonable analysis.
What about incoming members of the force, though? Those have to be vaccinated?
Yes. So we have always had a policy of vaccination for persons joining us. As you know, there are several vaccines already mandated, you know, to ensure that people are fit and able to function in our environment. And so we would seek to ensure that persons join our ranks are persons who would want to be fully protected so that we can help protect our citizens.
There's a question that's been discussed over and over, but I think it's worth revisiting, especially speaking to somebody like you. In 2021, why does Jamaica need a JDF, a military arm of the state?
Listen him answer, you know. What we need, so shall cut on a thing and ask him a good question. Make we hear what him say.
I would say that in 2021, we need to consider very carefully the tremendous value that the Jamaica Defence Force can bring. So we have taken an approach that while militaries are normally focused on defense, that in a small island developing state, we can't afford to have the military focused entirely on defense.
Meaning external threats, when
right.
you say defense.
That's right. So we have taken an approach, we have a doctrine of what we call ownership and flexibility, where we must be masters of the craft of defense and, you know, traditional defense to traditional threats. But that we must be flexible enough to realize that we have to be a part of nation building. We have to be a part of looking at what are the real challenges that face Jamaica, and we are a part of that solution. If you think about it, the Jamaica Defence Force is the only organization, and this is just a matter of fact, that whatever challenges the country face, they can turn to the JDF.
So, Roland, that's why we have soldier. And not just Jamaica Defence Force alone. You have the whole of the armed service in the US, in a Britain, any one of these countries where you turn to, where you have you have certain things with them called for them state of emergency, and I like from this, I like, you know, disaster and all kind of things that you call out. Them have a name. What them call them? What them call out? The guards. What them call them? Them call them something under the guards, right? So you call them out. Yeah, a lot of crap in my talk, man. A lot of crap. So you have to say Jamaica, you know, you call them out for this and that. So you want to come fight the citizens and the country, the soldier Jamaica Defence Force, to come out and say you have nothing for offer, It don't make sense. We should have scrapped this long time, because if nobody rush through you think where you go with them two little captain, not even a Black Hawk. Where you go with them here? And I thought about to have this skill, and what is it? We're not crazy.
Either to deal exclusively with the problem or to support other agencies that have that responsibility as their primary responsibility. You have seen, for example, in the COVID-19 response, that the main responsibility is the Ministry of Health and Wellness, but that the JDF is one of the main organizations actively supporting that effort.
We use them to do things like that. Everybody use them soldiers to do things like that in a them country, but not to come fire shot and do things and do anything in a them country like with the people them. That's why we have police force. You understand? So all we attack crap you attack this, you know. You understand?
You know, in terms of disaster response, we are actively there.
Disaster, you hear the man here? You hear him? National Guard. So them call out them National Guard, right? Them call out them National Guard. So disaster response, they call out the National Guard. You call them. These kind of thing, COVID, you know, is a pandemic and thing you call them. If doctors stop work, I said public service or something like when we the control JPS, them stop work, you call them out. Something you call them out. National Guards, right? Then when I talk is a different kettle of fish, you might tell you one. Yes. But you have to talk about crime now. Soldier, them thing are going in some country in Africa, and you see the fear of good, and like Argentina crew or some crew down them side there. When you see the soldier them come out and come take over some things, it's terrible. You understand? Hear him.
We are looking also at the future of the country and a mandate we have set ourselves of helping to change the culture of violence in Jamaica, which is a part.
Who not help to change the culture? Soldier. No, sir.
Of our long-term strategy, and we're doing youth engagement to achieve that. So I think that it may be short-sighted if anyone at this time is questioning the relevance of the Jamaica Defence Force, because we are looking way beyond just the mandate of defense, which is still very important, and looking how we can assist with national development and helping the country and other agencies.
You not supposed to even sit down and tell me that side you are looking at it, you are looking at it, and how to help the country. Eh? And what this man, a soldier we are talking about now, you know? Why
resolve other challenges facing the country.
And a big part of that resolution of other challenges is crime fighting, correct? Because the JDF is now an active participant in the crime fighting process.
Indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
Now, you got some flack for some comments you made recently, and let me just quote some of them. You were speaking with the media, you were speaking about rights issues, and you said, we don't seem to understand the right to life should supersede all other rights. We do not have an appetite to forego temporarily some of our rights in order to secure the right to life. We have some of our citizens, whether unwittingly or deliberately, encouraging or facilitating those who are violence producers. We have a justice system that facilitates what you could argue are inadequate sentences.
The soldier know if you tell you about sentences, inadequate sentences. There is no soldier. It's like Trump the other day I try overturn an election. And the soldier, them I make them know, and they want to have the state, them come out, come talk and say, yo, we do business in the local, them kind of little thing, you know, because coup not drop, you know. So I'm not going to get we if we go listen to him if we go drop no coup, you know. It not going to work, you know. You understand? And that's a democracy country work, and that's a democracy work. You understand? A man, you're not supposed to even talk about sentencing and them in a soldier. It's like them a plan a coup, and it's a, you know, it's like it's a soldier in the military thing took over now where him a dictates and tell the prime minister what to do. It's me don't know what is something wrong. He might tell you one, you know, with violence and him a judge now what I talk about now, you know. Soldier not supposed to even have them kind of little talk, yeah. None at all. That's why I don't believe in the SOE. Because you give them police powers now for lock up who them want, lock up and this, who them want this. That make it worse. You see it? You hear this?
And as I mentioned, you got a bit of flack. Horace Levy, the sociologist from Peace Management Initiative, suggested that you instead call the Prime Minister's attention to the limits of your expertise and point him towards the problems caused by social decay, the gleam.
Yeah, I am a pint. So he might do it on Google and the two of them come from a soldier family, them a friend. Saying? And then the Prime Minister follow. We don't want them like a yes man there. No star. Soldier not supposed to do this in your country. Be careful of what you do.
In an editorial entitled No to Usurpation of Fundamental Rights, pointed to the disappearance of thousands of people in Argentina at a time when the military was in charge, saying this is what happens when people make moral compromises ostensibly in exchange for national security, and said usually it's the men in uniform, like yourself, who make the case for this trade-off. So, first of all, how do you respond to the criticisms?
I think the criticisms are important. I think
I'm waiting for the but here now.
No, not at all. I think as a part of dialogue in a liberal democracy, we need debate, we need criticism.
But we're not supposed to have a debate with you. Because your role and that role, yeah. You know, police play that role, yeah. That role and a fair role. So we're not supposed to have a debate with you, what you think and what the judge them do and sentencing. Right away, female, there's a blah 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 all over the place. This is how Jamaica run. Militarized, that's how the man go Israel to come back and them people, you know, him and Google because I saw that training them get, you know. A baby in a police, them is an ex-Google this, you know, in a police work, you know. So soldier not trained like police to deal with, you know, the population like that. Them trained for a war and defend them country and all kind of things. You gotta have them now and give them police powers. You gotta get rough up, you gotta get angry bad. And them the business are who neither. Because me can play, I can play back a video. Me not have it up today. But I can play back a video where the soldier tell the boy, go one boy to your girl, hey, go come out for work and I want to you. Go in your yard. You can't have soldier on the road that do these things, man. This is a foolishness. Them things are foolishness. See? So these are the things that happened in Argentina in the 70s where a lot of people they missed up because the soldier them come out and like them rule. So them are run with them are run. And you can't give them not talking against your own people. Eh? Against your own people. See? We not believe in this. Democracy not stand so not like we there for some soldier. And then they are testing, you know. They are testing people. Look, just listen to the case every night a soldier name call up and police name tonight. Listen, every kind of case every night a soldier and police name call up tonight because them full of corruption set speed. I show them never in your face like this. Them in them community where them come from, them a fire shot them in a gang too. Eh? And then you turn around now and you give them police power so them can go root out the side where them not in. Lock up some people and that's it. You know, business, you just run them, you just do all kind of little things. Prime Minister, you did promise say you have the problem for self-crime. You understand? And I know you know you have the crime plan and people buy into it. You see a man say for all you accountable. We're not supposed to talk to me. It must so them they're supposed to have business in their affairs. Like what the general them say, yo, we're not getting at their affairs in America affairs like that. We're not there for that. Them can't draw we in this. Saying we keep out of these things. This is what them talk. But him please clock. And I tell you say, who I get time and it too small and it want so what want do? Eh? You know, say so the state around Jamaica. This have to stop, man. It need to stop. You understand? I don't want to hear no more from Rocky Mead. I remember telling you what him say. Him say from 2017, them have 20 years plan. Come watch that, you know. We should have played it. I don't have the clippings there with me right now. 2017, them have 20 years plan from way past 2030. 20 years plan that put you at 2037. So past 2030, when Jamaica turn first world country, who tell him that? We still have pit toilet. We money the value. Not even monopoly money better than it because by that thing you can buy broad back and buy some park place and buy some of the little things. Our money can't buy nothing. Like that. Nothing. See? And we have some little goofy around the country and talk about foolishness. All right. So him attack them foolishness there. More know how Jamaica supposed to run. I want to know the constitution because they want, they want dictate it to you. Let me just hear this.
Conspicuous regime regulating or moral limits, governance, the process by which the affairs of the country and the people are managed. Debatably, governments are considered a central figure of civilized society, providing the shared needs of our people which cannot be fulfilled by individual efforts. For the most part, Jamaica boasts a stable democratic system of governance, one that is participatory and wherein the people hold ultimate power in electing their representatives in free and fair elections.
We go to the polls every 5 years.
Anybody can run for elections. You can stand for election if you are a Commonwealth citizen and have been living in the country for, I think it is 1 year.
And as it relates to the laws of the land, Jamaica's constitutional rules are supreme. This most important document establishes the character of the government and the basic principles to which the society must conform.
It is the one on which all the other laws of the country are based.
The Constitution basically sets out the arms of government, and they're basically the executive, which is the cabinet, and how it functions.
So, yeah, the Constitution that I will set out where everything follow. You have them at executive, what they tell you, the Constitution tell you, but they want to reach it in every kind of way, form, and shape, and dictates. You see what I say?
Judiciary, that is our courts, and how independent they are, so that they are not fettered by the parliament, and they are totally independent. And finally, the legislature, that is the parliament and how it makes its laws.
The fundamental rights and freedoms of all persons are secured in the Constitution, and each citizen is subject to the rule of law, with every person considered equal before the law.
So that the Constitution...
Not in Jamaica though. Because when you're in a ghetto, you can't come out and do zinc fence and thing, man. They say, hey, whoop it. Them not, let me tell you, them we have every right. Man just see and just, hey, me not like how you look. Go in that truck, yeah. Same way. Talk to you same way. So what you expect? But if you go up town and you see a man and even go film and him say, nah, come out, you know, put your foot in there. You make sure every eye that and every T cross. You understand? And call and make sure serve the papers where you serve and forget it. But otherwise, I'll be a foolishness to go on with. That's why we say me after there, what for born all the foolishness. We know no foolishness with them. None at all. That's why I listen.
The Constitution puts in place what is called security of tenure of the judges. That is, once a judge is appointed, virtually that person can't be removed except for ill health or misbehavior. So part of the protection of our judiciary is the protection of our rights, because the last persons to speak on our rights are the judges.
Even while considered an independent country, the British monarch is constitutionally Jamaica's head of state, the chief executive represented by the Governor-General.
But in our system, the Queen doesn't act as chief executive, but she acts as a sort of honorary chief executive. She doesn't actually carry out the law, though you know there are debates as to whether she has hidden powers which are just seldom if ever used.
In reality, the day-to-day chief executive of the country is the Prime Minister, and the person who holds this office will periodically recommend someone to be installed as Governor-General to represent the Crown. But neither the British monarch nor the Governor-General have any real authority in how the country is managed. Under the Constitution, the Governor-General is given authority to act in many matters, including appointing officers of the civil service, starting and stopping parliamentary assemblies, and granting judicial pardon. In most matters, the Governor-General acts only on the advice of the Prime Minister, but occasionally on the advice of both the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. A body of people meets to discuss state matters regularly in what is called the legislature or parliament. Parliament consists of two houses, an appointed Senate, which is also called the upper house, and an elected House of Representatives, also known as the lower house. This legislative arm of the government has responsibility for establishing laws. 21 nominated persons make up the Senate, 13 appointed by the Governor-General on the advice of the Prime Minister, and 8 on the advice of the Leader of the Opposition. Only 4 ministers of government can come from the Senate. When a new Senate first meets, the members generally elect a president and deputy president who cannot be appointed ministers.
A Minister of Finance cannot come in the Jamaican Constitution from the Senate. And the thinking behind it is that the Minister of Finance is perhaps the second most important minister after the Prime Minister. And you want that person to have his or her own mandate. That is a direct responsibility to the people.
In contrast, the House of Representatives, or the lower house, earns its own mandate and has an elected body. The number has changed over the years, but the current maximum membership is 63.
That I will not, except with the authority of the Cabinet.
Every parliamentarian who accepts the job to serve takes an oath to defend and uphold the laws of Jamaica and to discharge their duty of serving the people in an impartial and conscientious manner.
He's supposed to look after their welfare, respond to their demands, and generally be the representative of his constituents.
So tell me now, Paula, anybody there on the line, you know what I'm just saying, because we know that, you know, them look out for your welfare, you know, and be the representative, and them look out for your constituents and look out for Jamaica. Bless up Daniel, where are man? Tell me something now. When last you say any one of them representative, yeah, any one of them member of parliament are really stand up to these kind of task. Them hungry in this, now look out for our welfare. Them in this are pass more laws. All of them so corrupted, and a billions the country are bleed and lose. We lose land, we lose everything. Billions every year. Billions lying in them pocket, and them, none of them now go. Can you imagine if a country so corrupt? If a country so corrupt, I don't even see one politician end up in prison every year. That means it not change. Not change. No, you think you can go? Youth will kill themselves. Yeah? I kill themselves. Start from domestic affairs. Start from political time too. From back in the days, from political war and violence. See? And man kill man grandfather, and yes, boy, man they kill a man the father, our grandfather they kill a grandfather, they kill a father, they kill a, and then the youth them come up with the same kind of little thing. And then some of them start from, you know, domestic violence. See? They will kill each other and they kill each other family. But who rub up the money and make the place stand so? They might kill each other and people I send money, I'll bury them. And then I rub up the taxpayers' money, you know. And I like when they kill each other, you know, government I get money, you know, because I get money. Like them not mind neither people dead, you know. Them not mind, you know. Because the whole of them federal parliament, them have to register, them have to pay some taxes, don't it? Government make money out of that. It's a big business. See? It's a big business. That's why I say we can't take them man for burn them out, man. Burn them, man.
In practice, most pieces of legislation are introduced and debated first by members of this House. It's the same with other matters of national affairs, including budget, taxation, and the granting of funds. All have to be discussed and approved by the Parliament, which ultimately...
You will them say all have to be discussed and approved by Parliament. No. You have some money where here. All right, the other day, you know, say hard rock. Them, you know, say our airport authority of Jamaica. You know, say them going to spend $3 million US, over 400 million Jamaican. Figure do what? Figure buy shares in a hard rock, I wait no one name. And then don't say yes, some more money gone, over some more money gone, them just do anything. Wasn't just a bill place, so them spell $2 billion. Same? Them a repair place, the hospital don't so, them say $3 billion. Now I must say Mongo they spend 1.4 billion and them have 1.6 or 1.6 and 1.4 more for go spend. Because them start from a air condition unit and thing. That means the $3 billion, oh, them will back some, but them are still spend it. I better will build back a new hospital with the money. Same? I'll be a foolish system I go on with. You understand? Nobody now go to prison. You can't just them off and them out.
Ultimately exercises control over the government's finances. The good conduct of members and House rules are kept in check by an elected House Speaker, who is also meant to ensure that every member gets a fair hearing in the chamber.
So if it's a fair hearing, why the woman they get up the other day when the man named cousin attack, and I tell you say a foolishness with the state of emergency, I shall tell him to withdraw him thing. Yeah? And rub it out a book and all kind of like a fool. And he must attack again. Because him now withdraw and all kind of foolishness. Eh? Them not fearing of themselves.
What, how, and when the various matters are debated is the responsibility of the House Leader, a member of the ruling party who is elected by his or her peers to direct the course of business. And these deliberations are agreed on by the Leader of Opposition Business, who is first consulted by the House Leader. Governments over the years have striven for the admirable principles of efficiency, accountability, and transparency.
None of them will just talk about over what kind of years. Efficiency, accountability, and transparency. You must say, man, transparent where? Eh? Accountability where? Efficiency where? Eh? In a Jamaican government, we must be crazy now on the head. Eh? Crazy now on the head. All right, so them do this because of the arm of Jamaica attack, you know. JS, right? Them do this. Them send that, right? But look on this. Look on this.
Be known for.
Look on this.
When this term ends, what will we all be known for? What will be our legacy? Will it be based on the number of food packages we gave out, how many funerals we attended, or better yet, how many bags of fertilizer we could give our farmers? The role of MPs to Jamaican people is as clear as mud, and it is time we define what ought to be our purpose. Madam Speaker, we are no longer respected by the people, and this is obvious by the way we are spoken to or spoken about.
Lisa, and the way we're spoken to or spoken about, you know, we can't respect bandit, man. Alibabas and all kind of little things, man. And the way we're spoken to, the way we're going in the house still, you know. Yeah, man, because the house is like a pigsty. You understand? Allow me to tell Daniel, a pig pen. Yes, I pay pirate in it, man. I pirate them.
To be our purpose.
Hear this.
Madam Speaker, we are no longer respected by the people, and this is obvious by the way we are spoken to or spoken about. There isn't much reverence to the positions anymore, as we are often branded about as just another corrupt one coming to take something from the system.
True.
As we approach 2022, which marks our 60th year of independence from Great Britain, both the PNP and the JLP have had almost a 50-50 year split at the helm of running this country. The PNP 31 years and the JLP at the end of this term 29 years. So there's enough blame if we want to pass around. It's time to press reset, Madam Speaker. Time for us to look seriously. Time for us to look seriously at the legislative agenda. Time for us to move away from doing what is popular to doing what is right. Our legislative agenda has been at a bit of a crawl, and while many countries have modernized so much of how they do things since the pandemic, the most we can really do and have been able to do is extend our care stimulus package and pass some legislation, while important, really has not redounded to the best interests of the bread and butter issues and everyday living conditions of the people of my constituency and others.
Bread and butter issue. Because when them do is pass legislation every day, and what am I saying? I'm going to have to just lock you up and do things, you know. Me just watch primetime news last night. I hear Chuck talk, right? And Chuck say them have the needs to come out. Them still, because them didn't want to lock up some people, right? And them still put it. I say, if you last the needs, the card where I get the needs, and you know, report it and thing. No, you have to pay a misuse or something, and you know, report it. Then you have to pay 3 million, or you do 3 years. Them after 3 million, or 3 years. Them still have put prison thing to this. So if you lost a driver's license, you're not going to get it back unless you report it. So they might tell about misuse, like the needs or something. Let me tell you this. The needs, what am I come with? I just see them thing the number what you have right now, where they on the same driver's license, it them I use right now. Remember me talk about it already? And yes, let me tell you, say, we want something where it can do everything because we now have no identity. And people are up and down like that. Then what is a passport? Your internet, you think they needs, you can travel by your needs? They make them trick you. You think you can use your voter's ID and travel upon it? Go away. Oh, if you don't turn, you can go one of the parish them with it. Eh? See? But don't make them trick you, man. Don't make them trick you. See? You can't travel upon it. The international passport, the passport, the international ID passport. International, but I to travel with. It use the anything overseas or anywhere we don't. You understand? I mean, your driver's license can use and for 6 months. That powerful set speed, the same number them I use. The TRN. I hit the nine digit. So I don't know what I change, but you still will spend billions and them run out and people, yes, I need because it a solve crime. At the same TRN where I use people. Yo, stop me them tricking on man. Stop make them going on the head, man. And chat bag of crap, man. See? So if you use the same thing where you change. I'm going to tell you something. Them couldn't go get the next 9 digit because they might put everything in a reset. Because you have it on your driver's license. You have to buy you buy a house with it, you buy a car with it, you do everything with it. So what you gotta do now, if you them get a next number, it confusing because you have your CM TRN number, and then with them not give you a needs number, 2 different number, it wouldn't make no sense. It wouldn't make no sense. Same. If you identify where you show 2 number, then that complicate the system. So they have to go back to my original thing when I tell them and use the TRN number pan the needs. So if the TRN did okay, then know them say we never have no database. Another same database we not take and use. We not have sense. Same like come say the electoral officer Jamaica. So them spend too much money them get off 150,000 deceased after the thing in 3 years. For 150,000 dead, that will go back in a much decades. That means dead people have worked long time and continue for them on the list. Okay, if you take off 150,000 in 3 years, no, that something right. And then all them do it, them send them is a damn disgrace, yes. Then them send in the area and ask, and you say, oh, him dead. For somebody want beyond somebody in the chat and them just you're dead to them and them say you're dead. That make it dead, so them go struck it off. The best way you never have to spend the money, you have birth and death. Every time we have baby, we are dead. It have to register. Seem like how the kids born them, you have to register to get the papers them and do what I want. Every time you have to bury the dead, whether you're placed in the country or whether in one of them places, you have to register the dead. You understand? You have to get the death certificate. See? So them have a database with that who dead. All them need for do every year, them pass it on to the electoral officer Jamaica. And it saves the country a bag of money. Eh? You see me, I say? You see me, I say? It don't even make no sense. See? So they must spend how much money and how much money for do the exercise, how much 100 million, how much billion. And a foolishness. You get a more accurate thing. My mother dead, so me have the bit. Me have the death certificate, can't show you right now. Me have it. Because if you not have that piece there, them can the pink piece them now bury it dead. You know? You have to have it and then have to sign it, have to sign off, you know. And police, you know, say, okay, it's not a police case where they might investigate because them know where she die off and thing and the doctor write up these things and you know you go through. And if it's a police case, when them don't deal with that now, you know, you get them release some documents to you, then you go through and get through set speed. See? So every day they have to register for you bury the dead. But yes, still the electoral officer Jamaica has spent hundreds of millions to take off some people and send people in every community just to find out if they're dead. That makes sense. When I tell the same country, I go back where I pocket the money. They know better than that. Foolishness. When we go and listen what she say.
Again, what will we be known for? It's time to look seriously at women's health rights. It's time to move on to the republic status we've promised our people for so long. It's time to provide water to our people and move away from the pale pan culture. Can
you imagine? 2021, and them have a time for, you know, we provide water. We have so much rivers all about that water when I see. Pale pan culture. One little place, you know. Saying? And then I make it seem like Africa them there. The whole continent of Africa, so it's hard to manage and it's hard to do all kind of little things. Foolishness. That's why I have to burn them. Them me not take no chat from them. You understand? A criminal them. If me not see even 5, me not see 1, you know. 1 MP every year going to prison for something. We should have even see 5 or 10, at least 10 of them. Out of that, they all say 10. At least 10 and so we get the place clean up. And see some of the big head police them to the bigger heads them. Some of them gone too. And them thing, you know, you're free. Some of them thing and thing, you know, get Jamaica go back where. Burn me upon them.
Rural constituencies. It's time to critically assess how we've been educating our children to compete in a global world amid the pandemic. It's time to reform our prison system and look at punishments ascribed to certain crimes and institute more laws to protect our people. It's time we reform our Sexual Offences Act to grant public access to the sexual offenders list. It's time to pass the National Assistance Bill to replace the old Poor Relief Act of 1886. It's time we be proactive and give personal tax credits, incentives and subsidies to Jamaicans to protect our environment with less CO2 emissions. It's time to replace the old Burial and Cremation Act of 1963 with modern funeral home regulations to ensure that consumers at all levels are protected while getting value for money, Madam Speaker. It's time to raise the minimum wage to a livable wage for all Jamaicans to be able to eat and take care of themselves and their families. It's time to break the monopolies that create high electricity bills. It's time we debate the motion I tabled here in February for the methods of achieving a fundamental mindset shift to structurally transform Jamaica's economy into an internationally competitive, value-added export country and products and services that we have a global competitive advantage in. Yes, Madam Speaker, it is time to be courageous.
No, man, it's a all light company or water bill. The water, the other way around, you know. The water, the National Water Commission do much hundreds of millions. If you know man shop over billions a bill, because them have to pump the water. So really, are the water company over the light? The other day, them clear up some street light $7 billion. See? Why that sell JPS? Me never know what good in that, you know. See? Them people are sick.
In our legislative decisions and step away from the Santa Claus status we have taken on. Prime Minister, we are the same generation. It's time for you to be courageous. Madam Speaker, I believe my time has ended, but I put the question to all of us again, and to you. At the end of this term, what will we all be known for? What will be our legacy in this parliament?
Alibaba the 40 thief, Pirate of the Caribbean, you know, and couple more names, because we can just call them out. Yeah, man, we call them out, man.
Winning elections is generally forgotten. It's time to give Jamaicans hope in the life they can live in their country of their own birth. It's time for us to leave our footprint rather than doing the temporary assignments that will, in the end, the tides will wash away. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Watch out, them are go bump. Hey, let me tell you this, you know. You see them go bump them one another? You see them go bump them one another? Let me tell you this. The one of them, my friend. The one can't stay there. See? The one of them are virgin and sister. So when them are pirate of the Caribbean, man. The pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, man. 73. Yeah. Almost 72. Alibaba and 63. Alibaba and 63. Zane? Yeah, man. Alibaba and 62 because of 63 of them in this, you know. And then there are 21. So we have to add everything, you know. There are 21 in the upper house. Right? Yeah, man. Them have 21 senators, you know. Yeah, we can't let them go, you know. Yeah, man. You see what I say? Yeah, man. The one of them are friend, you know. Them are good friend and them thing. No matter fella, when you hear them go and say boom, bam, bam, the Jamaican people, them are get all hostage for the whole of these things. And them not know, you know. Them not know, you know. Them for stop. You see me I say? Yeah, man. No, man, they say them are friend. Friends and family. That's how we say we are coming down upon them. We are hold them accountable. Same like what the Prime Minister said, we are play back some things and remind him what him say. Yeah, and remind him of the plan them what him did have. And ask him, so, oh, you know, put them in and play now. We see, you know, half a decade gone already. And you still run your linger, run and tell me foolishness. And I run out with SOE. You never say about nothing about SOE, sir. You never say nothing about that. You can't make soldiers them bring these kind of little things come to you, man. We see it in enough more country. We see it in enough more countries. Where the soldiers them take over and one bag of eat that thing. See, because them not do policing. Them not do policing. Them not train and do policing. You see me I say? You see me I say? When you say how much right away you have to get banned because you know, you right away you have to get banned. When you name top striker, he's a nasty stinker. How much jail pay you? Come on for me thing. Piece of crap. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He must get banned right away, man. You understand? You hear what I'm saying? People are a piece of shit like that make the country stay saying, you know. How much pay me? Top striker. Me no want you on my page. You understand? We don't need you on our page. You just go away. You understand? People like you a piece of shit. So them not tell you I'm stay already. Eh? So you move. Leave. Nasty piece of shit, yo. You understand? Yeah, man, I'm style you to man. Them I tell you I'm stay. Eh? You're one of them who make the country bad. Remember, you know, people like me, I want up the country, you know. And the other people, them, the diaspora, you know. You understand? So you're one of them where bleed out, where take taxpayers' money for us, take $2 grand and them thing there. You're not looking a nasty piece of sell out shit, yo. You understand? Don't come on my page. None at all. Don't need you around here. You see me, I say? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So right away, we're for ban him. Because I'm a piece of shit. You understand? Him know when I ramp, you know. You understand? You uncle thing him come about how much pay me. Eh? How much GLP pay, how much Andrew pay if you just come say that. You look a nasty piece of shit, yo. Don't come by here, man. You understand? Go back, go tell Andrew me run you, me ban you same time. We don't want no germs over here, sucker, you germs. Saying? Me no ramp with germs. You understand? Yeah, man. Saying? Uno mash up the country. Germs like Uno. You see? Yeah, man. Andrew hold him accountable. Eyes on the file, you there? You there, sir? Yeah, man. Yeah, look at that as a piece of shit after we give them some nice presentation and show them a whole Andrew accountable, you know. You know, see where I go on. Yeah, the little piece of shit come. How much PMP I pay you? Eh? Me look like me hungry? Eh? How much Andrew pay you? You look a nasty piece of shit, yo. You understand? Yeah, man, I them mash up the country, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm telling you this. Me think people that have better sense than this when you run out. Yeah, you can't just be bug. Let me tell you about one thing with it. Hey, remember go play about my thing. Hey, before me even sign up, remember play about my thing. I have to remind them who are lonesome, you know. So let me just remind them who are lonesome, yeah? Can I remember play about my thing there? Can I ever play about my thing there and remind him who are lonesome? Because it could be like him don't know who name we lonesome, you know. You see me I say? Yeah, man. Me have play about my thing and remind him who are we lonesome. Hold on there. We lonesome again, you know. You see, original father Gregory Isaac. So me I want, you know. Now make my guy fool, you know. So the clear yeah, see the thing. Well, we lonesome. Let me show you who are lonesome. How much who pay me? You PMP or GLP could pay me? Ain't me a revolutionist, man. Just look for me and look for my record. Look for my track record. Watch my record. You understand? And look on past and present dupes. And then you don't know, say, Uno can't buy me out. Just look. We lonesome again, you know. You see, original father Gregory Isaac. So me I want, you know. Now make my guy fool, you know. So the clear yeah, see the thing. Hey, remember.
But remember, say, I'm me alone, somebody do this.
Yeah, easy father, my God. Alright. They can react. See? Wash up the whole place. You understand?
I know a person in Das with Lonesome as a nice man, wonderful man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I just start that because of anything, you know? Yeah, that's the truth.
F-Tones, Leroy, Sybil, when you answer for the Sybil? That's true.
Everything I say,
you hear that? Yeah, man, I will Lonesome in our father, download. Check it out. You understand? Father, try one note for them now. Sometimes you're gonna be left out alone. Capleton, we answer better.
Don't you know, say me are the baddest thing ever born. No for them we say me never born. Me not like how no for them born. Cause them can't stop the yeah, the king of fire done.
Remember,
Elton,
yeah man, Derek Clara. Yeah man, you saw the place full, room full, all full. You see who side of me? Original Johnny Clark. See it, you see me I talk about judgment. Yeah man, oh you brown, you bantan. That's why I tell you to be careful. Eh? You hear me? You have to cut it out here. The father tell himself. Sometimes I never knew which way to turn.
Lonesome.
Kelly, where you at the father, Kelly?
Big up every time, man.
I'm aware of love.
Revolution is like me now. So come and just chat my mind straight and we doing business. Just
Remember when we was our own picture frame, and nobody never used to call me name.
Well, too much blood stain running down the drain. Only get a youth man, I feel the pain. Well, too much blood stain running down the drain. Sight my little brother got hooked on cocaine. Too much blood stain running down the drain. Sight my little granny and she gone insane. Too much blood stain running down the
no. Where am just sell it a while? When nasty this just sell it a while? Eh? How the germ just sell it a while? Pay me? Who can pay me? Me a revolutionist, man. Fearless. Lonesome my name. Just look pan past and present. Go, hey, let me tell you, go look pan my track record. Me no beg friend. Yeah? I'm in a business. If you not right, you can't come near me. Them a mash up Jamaica for hold them accountable. You see me, I say me name Lonesome, what I'm to know. See? Little nasty piece of shit. Where you come at about how much your PMP pay me? Eh? How much GLP pay you? Piece of fucking shit. Don't play with me around here, you know. You think my beg what name? Piece of shit, man. Ban film same time. Don't play with me. Me no beg friend. You understand? Number one, if I never people like me and other people in the diaspora Jamaica sink. You never know somewhere I'll pull up this. See? So you can't stay the talk like a nastiness. See? We have to talk for the people them because my pocket burn me set speed, you know, because I have to cry for the youth them, you know, cry for the youth them, you know, cry for the people them. When I have nothing to eat and all kind of things, you know much thing me do? Ask any politician, go ask any one of them, much of them handout. Me come and look at handout from them. See? It's a Lonesome nobody around put me. Yeah, man. You see me, I say, yeah, man, when I around put boy, man, them stink, man. Don't play with me around here, man. Yeah, man, Brazilian, big up on yourself, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, big up, man. See? Remember the world know me, you know, them don't know who is them politician, you know, for me talk to. We ain't Lonesome. Who is them for him talk to? Anywhere in the world, me go and mean him, we ain't Lonesome. Remember that. See? Who not who, man? Don't send no troll around here, some man. Because you know, some you know, me no ramp with people, none of them me no ramp with. Me no big friend. You understand? It's all right. So me don't talk. Jamaica need to change, to rearrange. People can't support themselves. Go pay the police them or know them. And stop telling troll around here. You understand? Fucking out of order. Me there enough people. Just hold it here. Look, I saw me talk straight, you know. So let me tell you this, where them can't stand with me, you know. The man can't come on my back and say, boy, Lonesome this because Lonesome. Anything where you hear me say, if you hear somebody say boom bam bam, you don't say no one him that because the man that chat straight. You see me I say? Yeah, man. You see me I say we just chat straight. You see me I say we not ramp with them. You understand? Too much of this foolishness now. See? We can't get up and help too much people. And the government help them. We get up and help too much people and do all kind of things and I say boom bam bam. Look much thing the diaspora give to them. Look how much thing we do for the country. And then you have some little bug. And some Joe stink of them too, you know. You know the Joe stink of them? The little bug, them when you touch them, man, them stink up the whole of your hand all where you beard and wash it off. I one of them that, man. Not critical thinker, that's a Joe stinker. See? So when you talk, now it at them head and them have nothing to talk. When you do use them own word and with them say, and you see the country when you talk, them come like, you know, want to come in a little troll business. Jamaica need for change. We have to hold them accountable. Same like where the Prime Minister said, hold them accountable. You understand? Lonesome. Me there, you know. Keep it real, yeah? Yeah, man, I'm up.